Apple just made the most complicated buying decision in iPhone history. Three premium iPhones, no cheap option, and one of them starts at $2,400. The usual playbook doesn't work this year. There's no standard iPhone 18, no safe, obvious choice. You're picking between three flagships and one of them folds. Here's the thing though, the most expensive one is missing something the cheaper ones have. That detail is buried in every article covering these phones. We're going to get to it, but let me show you the full picture first. This video breaks down every real difference between the iPhone 18 Pro, the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and the iPhone Ultra. Price, design, cameras, performance, battery, all of it built from everything leaked and confirmed before the September event. And by the end, I'm going to tell you straight up who should buy each one, because the answer is not obvious, especially when one of these phones is unlike anything Apple has ever shipped. Let's start with the number that's going to end the conversation for most people. Price: iPhone 18 Pro expected to start around $1,199. Pro Max $1,299. That's already higher than last year. The reason has a name: Ramageddon, a global memory shortage that's driving component costs up across the industry. Apple is passing that directly to you. Then there's the Ultra, somewhere between $2,400 and $2,500. Let that land for a second. The most expensive foldable on the market right now is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. That's $2,099. The iPhone Ultra would beat it by a significant margin, and supply is expected to be limited, especially outside the United States. Some reports suggest a staggered global rollout, meaning if you don't live in the US, you might not be able to get one at launch even if you want to spend the money. Speaking of launch, the Pros are expected to open pre-orders around September 12th, with release on September 18th. The Ultra, nobody seems to agree. Some reports say the same date, others say much later in the year. The one thing every source has in common: supply is tight. And at this price, that might be the least of the problems. Design on the 18 Pro and Pro Max. Honestly, if you've seen an iPhone 17 Pro, you've seen these. Same shape, same camera bar, same 6.3-inch and 6.9-inch display sizes. There is one open concern though. The iPhone 17 Pro had a real durability problem. The anodized aluminum scratched and chipped easily. Under normal use, it got a name online, Scratchgate. We haven't heard any concrete rumors about Apple fixing this for the 18 Pro, so if that bothered you on the 17 Pro, I wouldn't hold my breath. One notable change: the Pro Max is reportedly going to be the heaviest iPhone Apple has ever made, 240 grams, 8.47 ounces. For context, that's heavier than most Android flagships. The working theory is a bigger battery, but it's a real shift. And if you're already on the fence about the Pro Max's size, that's worth knowing. Now, the Ultra, this one is a completely different device. Closed, it's shorter and wider than a standard iPhone. 5.4-inch covered display. Open it, and you've got 7.8 inches. That's roughly the same footprint as an iPad mini 7 in your pocket. Apple reportedly went all in on the engineering here. The Ultra is expected to be around 4.5 millimeters thin when fully unfolded, thinner than the iPhone Air on a device that folds. The hinge is rumored to be liquid metal, structural glass, mid-frame for rigidity, ultra-thin display glass for additional support on the inner screen, and Apple is claiming the fold crease will be invisible. I'll say this carefully. Every single foldable manufacturer has made that exact claim. None of them have fully delivered. Apple might be different, or this might be the first thing reviewers mention on day one. We genuinely don't know yet. Here's the thing that nobody expected. The iPhone Ultra, the most expensive iPhone Apple has ever built, does not get the best chip. iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max get the A20 Pro. The Ultra gets the standard A20 on a $2,400 phone. Now, to be fair, both chips are built on TSMC's 2 nanometer process. That's expected to deliver roughly 15% faster performance and 20% better efficiency compared to last year. So the standard A20 is still a genuinely powerful chip, but the A20 Pro will outperform it in CPU and GPU benchmarks by how much we won't know until we actually run the tests. All three phones are expected to come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. That's the current minimum for running the more intensive Apple Intelligence features in iOS 27. Live dictation, expressive voice, the real time translation tools. So the software experience will be the same across all three. But under the hood, the Pro and Pro Max have the edge on the most expensive phone in the lineup. That's a choice Apple made deliberately, and it's one worth sitting with. This is the part that is going to make or break the Ultra for most people. iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max and three cameras, 48 megapixel main, 48 megapixel ultra wide, 48 megapixel telephoto, plus an 18 megapixel front camera. New this year, variable aperture. That means you can actually adjust how much light the lens takes in on the fly. This feature has existed on dedicated cameras for years. It's never been on an iPhone. There's a rumor that variable aperture might be exclusive to the Pro Max, not confirmed, but if true, it matters. That's a real reason to pick the Pro Max over the regular Pro. Now, the Ultra, two rear cameras, 48 megapixel main, 48 megapixel ultra wide, no telephoto, on a phone that starts at $2,400. No zoom lens. Apple describes what it offers as optical quality digital zoom. That is not the same as optical zoom. Any photographer, amateur or professional, will tell you that. You lose detail, you lose the ability to compress backgrounds. You lose a creative tool that most iPhone users rely on daily. If camera versatility is important to you, and for most people it is, this is the single biggest reason to think twice about the Ultra. The front camera situation is also a little unclear. Two selfie cameras, both 24 megapixel. Whether they use a standard hole punch design or are hidden under the display, we don't have a definitive answer yet. What we do know, Face ID is gone on the Ultra, replaced by a Touch ID fingerprint sensor in the power button. If you've been using Face ID every day for the last 5 years, that's a bigger adjustment than it sounds. Battery capacity, let's put it in real terms. iPhone 18 Pro and 4,288 milliamp hours. iPhone 18 Pro Max 5,321 milliamp hours. iPhone Ultra 4,833 milliamp hours. The Pro's increase over last year is minor, but pair a slightly larger battery with the efficiency gains from the A20 Pro chip, and real-world improvement should still be noticeable. The Pro Max is the one to watch here. That's a big battery in Apple's most efficient chip. That combination historically produces the best battery life in the iPhone lineup. By a clear margin, the Ultra is more complicated. A large inner display means the battery is always working harder than it would in a standard form factor phone. We've seen this with Samsung foldables. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra carries a 5,000 milliamp hour battery and still lasts meaningfully fewer hours than the Galaxy S26 Ultra, which carries the same capacity in a non-folding body. More screen, more drain. The Ultra's 4,833 milliamp hours might produce results that feel closer to the regular Pro than the Pro Max, despite sitting between the two on paper. All three will support MagSafe wireless charging. All three will have fast wired charging. How fast on each model specifically, Apple won't say until September. They never do. So Who should actually buy what? iPhone 18 Pro Max if you want the best iPhone Apple makes, largest battery, best chip, best camera system, possibly exclusive variable aperture. This is the phone, iPhone 18 Pro, if you want everything the Pro Max offers in a smaller body. 6.3 inches is still a large phone, but it's the more manageable size. And for the vast majority of people, it covers every real world need. The Ultra is a fundamentally different decision. It's not about getting more, it's about getting something different. If the idea of unfolding your iPhone into a near iPad sized display genuinely changes how you work, the Ultra is the most ambitious product Apple has ever shipped. But you're trading away the telephoto lens, you're trading away Face ID, you're paying a starting price that clears $2,400, and you may not even be able to get one at launch. Here's what I actually think. The Ultra is for early adopters who want to be first. The Pro Max is for people who want the best, and the regular Pro is for people who want the best without the size. One question before you decide: is a foldable iPhone something you'd actually change how you work for, or is it something you'd mostly just want to show people? Because at $2,400, that distinction is pretty important. I'll have hands-on coverage the moment I can get these in my hands. And there's one test I'm planning that no review has done on a foldable iPhone before. Because there hasn't been a foldable iPhone before, you'll want to be here for that.